if you thought that refraction is just Snell's law of bending of light and just couple of formulas, let me tell you that you are in for shocker. And obviously your captain Shreyas sir is here. And refraction in sound comes with a big twist. And there is a big climax which goes beyond sound. And you need to stay till the end to know what the climax and the twist is. So let's begin. Make sure you are smashing the like button to show your massive support for such quick conceptual videos, which enhances the way you think and really makes you push you beyond the boundaries of any kind of syllabus. Because we are not here to just cover what is there in this physics syllabus. We are here to uncover, and trust me, when you uncover the syllabus, that's when you truly learn. So like we know, refraction is just bending of light. That's what you were taught in your elementary school. And a light which falls onto a boundary of another medium, it bends. This is the angle of incidence and refractions, which are always measured with respect to the normal drawn to the boundary of the medium. All right. And then because the light right now, as we see over here, is bending towards the normal, meaning the refracted angle is smaller, incident angle is more. So we say this is optically rare and this is optically dense, not to be confused with the mass density which is in kg per meter cube. This is just a qualitative way of referring to, okay, if it is optically dense, that means the speed of light is basically slower. So when you apply Snell's law, which is sin I by sin r is C1 by C2, which is the refractive index of those medium relative to each other, I is more than R, C1 is more than C2. We all know that because here it is rare medium. And once you are in the rare medium, speed is more, angle of incidence is more. If you are in the dense medium, you are slower, R is less. Exactly what we predict. That's just the introductory part. Now you might be thinking, what about sound? Sound is also a wave. Does sound also refract? And believe me, there are some really good questions which can come in advance or even in Olympiads. And also, let's appreciate the beauty. Can sound refract? And if it refracts, does it obey Snell's law? Any guesses? Well, the answer is it does. It does follow Snell's law and it does get refracted. But this is not the first twist. There is another twist to it. You will see why. In fact, it basically bends just like light would. But here, the twist is that it should be acoustically rare and dense. There is a difference between optically versus acoustically. Acoustics is related to sound. Optics is related to light. So if I is more, R is less, this is acoustically rare, this is acoustically dense, meaning that in the acoustically rare medium, the speed of sound is more, and in the acoustically dense medium, the speed of sound, not light, the speed of sound is less. It is slower, the sound travels slower, and here it travels faster. So that's the only difference. So here the C1 and C2 do not refer to the speed of sound, but it refers to the, it does not refer to the speed of light, it refers to the speed of sound over here. You can call it as the refractive index, but for sound, if you want to do so, that's up to you. Okay, now you understood, okay, that we use speed of light in Snell's law. Well, we use speed of sound in Snell's law for sound waves. So speeds are the differentiating factor. So there comes a shocker now. Just imagine there is a medium like water, which is dense optically, and air, which is rare optically. That means the speed of light is more in air. We know that it's close to 3 lakh kilometers a second. And in water, it slows down significantly. But it's quite the opposite for sound. Sound travels faster in water than in air. We know this is a property of sound. It travels faster in solids as compared to liquids and as compared to gases. Speed of sound in water is in thousands of meters per second, whereas in air is barely 330, 340 meters per second, which means water is acoustically rare for sound. Yes, water is acoustically rare for sound, but optically it is dense because light-wise it is slower. And air is acoustically dense because, it's slow. The speed of sound is slow, whereas for optics, for light, it is rare. Completely opposite. Completely opposite, which means imagine if something were to emit both light and sound. Maybe there is an aeroplane traveling in the air and some fish wants to hear it. Imagine what will be the part taken by the light and sound. Well, the light will be towards the normal and the sound is going to bend away from the normal. And obviously, Snell's law is obeyed. Sound is going to be faster, so it's going to bend towards. Light is going to be slower, so it's going to bend away from the normal. And this is exactly what is being found. Not just that. The funny part is when you start studying total internal reflection, imagine there was a submarine or some fish making some funny noise, maybe a dolphin or something. So the light rays, the yellow ones are the light rays, most of it will come out, but as you reach the critical incidence in the denser medium, it will get totally internally reflected. But when you look at the sound waves, for sound, this is dense, this is rare, so there is nothing like critical incidence. In fact, for sound, critical incidence will happen in the air medium. Yep, it will be reverse. Keep that in mind. So sound will anyways come out. Light will not be able to come out beyond a certain point. You can see over here, after this particular point, light will get internally reflected, whereas those orange lines are the sound lines. Sound is anyways going to come out, which also tells me one more interesting thing, and that's a twist. Just imagine there is a submarine, there is a dolphin, there is some object emitting light and sound, both. You're seeing it. The observer in air will find this object closer to the surface, apparent depth concept. It will be shallower, but sound-wise, he will feel as if he's getting the sound from a much deeper part of that liquid or that ocean or that lake. Imagine the confusion, the chaos. If somebody really does not understand physics, he or she will see, the object closer, will be seeing it closer, but it will feel it's coming deeper. It will sound, look, feel very weird. That's a funny part. That's a twist in the problem. You might be wondering, is only sound going to refract and light going to refract? The answer is no. In fact, all kinds of waves undergo refraction and they obey Snell's law. So that's the reason why Huygens principle was considered so important, because Huygens principle shows how refraction occurs and measures everything properly and proves Snell's law, which is a more generic phenomena, not just limited to light, but extended to sound and any such waves. Even earthquakes, when they change the medium, can, refract. In fact, tidal waves will also refract if there is a change in the speed of the particular wave. But I'll tell you what, the twist is over and there is now a climax. Look at this photograph. Look at this. This is a flooring. This is some carpet. These are ants, and I see the ants bending like light. In fact, ants follow Snell's law and they undergo refraction. You might be like, what the hell, sir? Are you saying that ants have this dual behavior, particle and wave, and that's the reason why they are bending? No. The actual path taken by ants to travel to reach to their food from their homes or whatever their anthill is, that path follows Snell's law. Not exactly ant, because ant is a particle. Don't think it otherwise. In fact, you can draw this angle of incidence, draw this angle of refraction. You will see sin I by sin r. And if you are jobless enough to measure and see any one ant, stalk some ant over here and see what the speed of the ant here and here is, it will be exactly v1 by v2. In fact, the speed of the ants will be faster here, speed of the ants will be much slower here, and it will be v1 by v2 is sin I by sin r. You might be wondering, how the hell did ants follow Snell's law? Turns out that actually the law of refraction, the Snell's law, is not just limited to light, sound, or just refraction, but it's a more specific solution to a more elaborate, more generic time optimization problem, which turns out to be actually the Fermat's principle. And Fermat's principle is all about this. Imagine there are 2 points, there are 2 mediums where your speed, whatever it is different. Maybe here it is V1, here it is V2. They are different. And I want to go from point A to point B in quickest possible time. Remember, quickest time, shortest time need not be the shortest distance. I'll repeat, shortest time may not be the shortest distance, just like you would have experienced in Google Maps. Correct? So, of all the alternative paths that you have, so many paths are there. Out of all these paths available between the points A and B, turns out the one which obeys Snell's law is the most optimized path. Time-wise, it is the quickest path between point A and B when separated by 2 different medium. So it's a solution to a more, I would say, elaborate problem of time optimization. And that's the reason why ants end up following this path, because for them, time is of essence. They want to quickly reach to their food because any other insect might reach to the food. It might decay. Winter might come, who knows? So they want to reach to the food, store as much food as possible in the shortest time. And how do they do that is a very interesting thing. I mean, you need to go into the biological part of it, but they definitely don't calculate. You don't have to feel dumb in front of the ants. They actually go through this iterative process. They go through many iterations and they slowly keep on optimizing till they have found the most optimal route, which turns out to obey Snell's law. So you don't really have to feel dumb about it. So that was the most amazing concept about refraction. Tell me how much you loved it and how much you are going to apply it in some or the other maybe problem of mechanics, or who knows, some other wave question. Do not forget to like the video. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Take care.